I know you also mentioned you have a big passion for computers, building computers.
Yes, I do.
What is it about that draws you to it? And for anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, custom PCs is you order the parts, you order the case, and you basically put it together to the specs that you want that are perfect for you. And Trenton's been really passionate about that for a long time.
Yeah, so fortunately through school we had the ability to go to the Kent Career Technical Center in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So that took 2 hours or 2 to 3 hours out of the day of not being at Caledonia High School. I got to go to a Kent Career Technical Center. Firstly, I started out there to be a cop. I'm colorblind, just so you all know. You can't be a cop if you're colorblind. So I was like,
Why is that?
All right, funny thing. All right, I can't see red and green, or at least I can't see all red and greens. But say the suspect's running down the road, they got a red shirt on.
And so when you ask a civilian, what color is he wearing? Red. You're like, that doesn't help.
No, yeah, so I could mess up a situation. I really could.
Okay. But that's interesting. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Okay, another little backstory. I also went to the West Michigan Aviation Academy. Fortunately, I left. Can't fly a plane if you don't have 20/20 vision and if you're colorblind. But later down the road, you can get glasses, but if you're starting out as a pilot, you have to have perfect vision.
I was going to ask because I've seen pilots with glasses. Mm-hmm. That's interesting too.
At least that's what I've been told. I may be a little wrong on the 20/20 vision.
I know astronauts you need it.
Yep, but I know for a fact you can't be colorblind for multiple reasons. But so this all kind of segued me into finding computers, I've always been Minecraft. If we're going to say anything, dude, Minecraft is what's got me.
It's come up in 3 podcasts now.
Minecraft really got me into PCs. But I was fortunate enough to get this IT program at the Kent Career Technical Center, where I started out doing Microsoft Word. I'm certified in Microsoft Word. And then we went to PC building and networking. And I was like, holy cow, like this is just something I've never experienced before. Like I'm completely hands-on while at school, working on computers and setting up network switches and routers. Like this is, I don't know. I just like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. I love it. It's just, it's something that's always excited me. Like I used to take apart my mom's PC when I was younger to like clean it. And I'd always be like, man, like how do these parts work? Like, and I was like, man, I really just want to build a PC. And the fact that I was able to build a PC in school just really opened me up to something that I had never seen before.
That was at aviation or
at the Kent Career Technical Center.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is kind of a topic I've wanted to get into for a bit. This might be the right segue to do it. But how do you feel school prepared you for the goals that you have in life now?
Not good. Not really, dude. I feel like I've learned a lot on my own. It's just school didn't. I feel like there's so many different classes that they could provide for us.
I know. And I feel like the fact that it would be a dream, like you'd be so happy in high school if you could pick your schedule, pick what classes you take. The fact that that's like so far off of like reality is kind of scary because it seems like picking what you want to learn is essential to picking what you want to do in life, but you can't.
No, I know. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't know. There's a quote, and I don't remember who it's by, but standardized testing in the school system is like testing a fish's ability to climb a tree compared to other animals. A fish can't climb a tree.
Einstein.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's something that's always sat poorly with me. The quote's awesome, but the idea of it, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible. Yeah, man, because it's cool that the Career Technical Center kind of helped you find a passion of yours. But you know this, I had kind of the opposite experience in high school where just like nothing we did made me get goosebumps like you just said you had. It was like the opposite. Everything we did made me want to just go home and skip. And
well, I mean, if we're talking about like Caledonia as a whole, I feel the same way. Yeah. I was just given the opportunity.
I don't want to bash our specific school because I think it's just the way the system's set up.
Yeah,
for somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur, wants to make their own path, or someone who wants to go into something super creative. What did school do to prepare you for that? I don't know.
I don't really think school prepared me for any creativeness. I feel like that was something I had to entirely do on my own. If anything, it kind of hurt my creativeness because, like, when are we going to have to use all those mathematical formulas that we learned in math? Like, math's great. I love math, but, like, you don't see me making a parabola right now.
Right. Right. That brings up a whole nother thing. And like I said, I've kind of been wanting to talk about this. But I think it's Elon Musk brought up the subject that like you are in grades when you go to school. You are in first grade. You're surrounded by only with only first graders and then a teacher who's, 20, 30, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then in second grade, you're surrounded by only people that age and then a teacher. And then the same thing over and over again. So like the biggest kid in that class is going to become way too powerful. The smallest kid in that class is going to become, way too weak. And then everybody in between is getting used to being around people who are going through the same point of life as them. And then when you graduate high school, you've gone through 12 years of being surrounded by only people your age. And then never again in life outside of high school are you ever going to be like in a room with people that are only your age. So the idea, I think Elon Musk brought this up, I don't know. But the idea of grades, like putting people in groups based on their age is kind of absurd to me.
I've never even, like, I love Elon Musk. He's phenomenal. But I've never heard that. And that literally, like, just blew my mind.
Isn't that crazy?
I've never put that into perspective.
Because if you think about it, if you got rid of grades, abolish grades, we should start a new petition. If you got rid of, like, grades, like first, second, third, whatever, and then, like, the fifth graders could teach the fourth graders, and the fourth graders, and then the teacher facilitates what's going on, but then the older kids are teaching the younger kids, and then when they get older, they teach the younger kids. And then if there's a bully, there's a bigger kid always. There's always going to be a bigger kid without grades that could, put that kid in check. And I just feel like this is way on a tangent to the topic of what this podcast is supposed to be.
That's okay.
For real, man. Like,
wow.
I'm kind of passionate about that idea of let's experiment with getting rid of grouping people together because of age, because it doesn't happen anywhere else in life.
Yeah, like from a young age, I've always liked to surround myself with people who are both my age, older than me, and younger than me.
Yeah.
Dude, always. And like you can learn a lot from people younger than you because they have a different perspective on stuff. Like like my little sisters, like they're very advanced when it comes to some sorts of technology, like their phone. And like my little sister has, I'd say like a 50,000 following base on TikTok. I think that's
really
phenomenal. Yeah, I think it's
awesome.
So cool,
Yeah.
And I don't have anything like that.
Down. The government.
Yeah, it's not
TikTok.
good. TikTok. I've always been against TikTok because I and I'm all for the creators and the content because it's phenomenal. It's helped a lot of people out, but it's owned by the Chinese government.
Yeah, there's some sketchy stuff.
I personally, because I'm a big advocate for technology, I like my stuff private, I don't want people knowing everything. Like I'm an open book in reality, but like there's no reason some government should have my entire stuff throughout my phone.
You're right though, because going back to the younger generation, that app is literally like if you want a spyglass into how young people think and feel, like go on TikTok for a few days and you'll find like all the opinions of the younger generations, which is kind of crazy. There's not many places you can go to learn about a generation,
No, there really isn't.
That's interesting. What do you think our generation is driven by? Because I think millennials, which is the generation, we're kind of in the middle between millennial and Gen Z. We're really young millennials or we're really old Gen Z. But I feel like the older millennials, they were kind of into getting creative jobs in corporate environments. You know what I mean? Like Google and Apple and stuff. But now I feel like our generation is all about creating new jobs and creating their, like, just everything you got to do on your own, which is good and bad to be driven that way. But I think what do you think?
I have to agree with you. And you're right about the whole corporate, like people wanting to be in corporate stuff. I think nowadays people are getting a taste of what it's like to expand their own mind and just see what the possibilities are out there for them and themselves only. And whether that is opening a business and creating more jobs for people, that's awesome. Having more jobs for people is great. But I just feel like our generation is just, we're the new movers and shakers, honestly. Like we just want to, like, we're shaking things up. We're making stuff. We're making things happen. We don't play around. Like we're very motivated. Not saying that other generations aren't very motivated, but it's new times. Like there's new things. There's a lot of stuff that can be done.
There's way more opportunities with the internet. And it's wild.
It's so wild.
Yeah. I wonder I wonder what other generations would have achieved with that tool.
Yeah, you know, I don't know, like
That's
like our grandparents, because it's so hard for them to understand like social media. And
but they were hardworking people.
They were. They are.
Anybody who went through World War II or the Depression is very hardworking and really values money, time, and all those things. So I do wonder if the internet dropped into their generation, what would have happened?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I don't know. You know, we got technology at a very good time. Like our parents were still taking pictures of us with regular cameras.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about our generation, man, is like the new Gen Z, the really young kids who are coming out of high school now.
Yep.
They grew up playing with their parents' iPad.
Yep.
I grew up hearing something called an iPad is coming out, and then like wondering what's it gonna be like.
Yeah.
And then you hear something else is coming out, and you're like, what's it gonna be like? And I feel like the advancements between the time we were graduating middle school and through graduating high school were like that 4 years, that 5
Tremendous.
years. What was that, like 2010 to 2016?
Yeah, about.
Wow, so much happened.
I feel like the iPad came out in either 2010 or 2012.
2010, because it was like the
Okay.
last Steve Jobs thing, and I think he died in October 2010.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
That's just, and the fact that the iPad is where it is now, like, Jesus, like, technology has revolutionized the entire world completely, and it just is continuously getting better. It's improving day by day, and it's almost hard to keep up with sometimes.
Yeah.